Exactly what he said in Mark 16, in my name. Cast out devils. First supernatural sign for every believer is he's given us authority over the works of the devil. Amen. My goodness. So I'm praying for people. I pray in my known language, obviously. And I'm coming over and I'm step up in front of this woman. And as I'm standing in front of her, I step up and I'm speaking to me in an unknown tongue. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm praying with my spirit, not with my intellect, my spirit. And then I just switch. I didn't attempt to say, now I'm going to pray in English, but it just switched from tongues to English. And I said, and you will live and not die and declare the works of the Lord. And I laid hands on her, and she went out. Actually, before I even got my hand on her, she went out in the spirit. She was a Hispanic lady. Well, the next day, her daughter called, her and her husband were youth pastors at another church, and they'd been coming to the revival all these months. They got a call from their mom. This young lady was born and raised in Houston, but she was living in Wichita, Kansas, where we were. And they had got a report from the doctor that her mom was very sick and only had about 5 months to live. Stage 4, 5 months. And she said, Mom, Dad, if you can just get up here, Daddy, I know Mom will get healed. God is healing people. I know if you can just get her here. So they loaded up and came. So the next day they called me. And she said, Brother Kevin, and she said her name. And I greeted her on the phone. My wife was there. Also, she said, you're on speakerphone. She said, because my daddy wanted to ask you a question. He wants to know, do you speak Spanish? And being the normal white guy or non-speaking Spanish person, taco, you did this the other day, burrito, amen. We were talking. I asked Pastor Mark today, do you speak Spanish? And he said, taco, burrito, amen. And that's what I did, and because I don't know where this conversation is going. She said, well, here's the reason. My dad wouldn't believe him. I already told him because we had ate dinner together and fellowship together in groups, pastors and all of them. I told him, Daddy, he don't speak Spanish. He doesn't know any Spanish. But he needed to hear it from you without me reaching out to you beforehand. And this is why. When you stepped up in front of my mama in Spanish, you said, what is this that kills? And you switched over to English and said, you will live and not die and